living.
No, active.
Okay, active.
It means differently, Maya.
What does it mean?
Not just alive.
Too Short is in the building, by the way.
Still in it, baby. We still in it.
Yes.
Meow.
I mean, respected by every person in the music industry.
Yes.
You already knew. Yes, Too Short is here. We're so excited to have him here. Thank you for coming through. This is like our first San Francisco. Is it our first Bay Area?
No, you did interview with Mr. FAB.
Mr. Well, that was by myself. Yeah, but yeah, Mr. Fab, he definitely gave tons of props to you.
It's one of my sons.
Yeah?
It's one of my like literally like one of my kids. You know?
Okay.
All
right. Yes, Too Short is in the building. We are so excited to have you here because every single rapper that is considered also like a legend like you has fucked with you too in the past, either on like any records, like Biggie record, Jay-Z, like so many people have.
It's been a good journey. I've been having a good time the whole time, and I was given some good advice at a real young age. I was probably like 19, 20, just getting my first studio sessions on, and I was in the studio with like professional musicians who had worked with like people like Rick James. They just somebody just pulled my coat one day and said, "Don't forget to have fun." And the music was gonna make money. The fame was gonna happen, but I remember to have fun. It's been
you were
a fun
smart
journey.
Because that really
sounds like strip club activity. This is what I live for.
No, but that really created longevity for you too. In a way, I mean, you have like so many out. When I was like doing my research too, just to see what your stats were, the album situation is. I don't think any other rapper has made as many albums.
Well, let me tell you what I was doing though. So I was long before I ever got famous.
Right.
I started getting my little roll on really in the mid 80s to the late 80s when I signed up Jive Records in 88. But before that, I was like making songs throughout the streets of the Bay, mostly in Oakland, but they would go all over the Bay Area, which is like a huge area. Bay Area is like probably like 7 million people or whatever. But it's Oakland, San Francisco, and a bunch of surrounding cities. So I'd be in Oakland selling tapes, like literally on my foot, going from all my clients were dope dealers. I would go to all the hoods. I knew they had cash. I had a partner named Freddie B, and we would just go from dope turf to dope turf selling tapes. And it kind of just built up to be this whole huge thing. And I've been walking that same way through my whole career. Like I go from place to place. When I go there, I don't mind if you tell me right now, like, come to my hood right now, short. It ain't like it's a hood thing,
right?
But you just saying, come into my world and kick it with my people, and I'm like, I'm with that. Let's go. Let's make some music.
We gotta go to Brooklyn strip clubs. Ain't nobody gonna shoot it up all with this.
So I didn't even know they had
strip
clubs in Brooklyn.
You don't want to go there. Those bitches are on fucking peg legs and shit. Like 5 abortion scars. Like you don't want to go to that. No, I'm just kidding. I actually, like you really were one of the pioneers, like in explicit music,
as you should be.
Yes. Do you think that may have hindered you in the beginning to go to the whole commercial route because you were so like pimps and sex?
I had the option. I mean, I'm a songwriter. I could listen to all kind of music. I could be writing love raps if I wanted to. I could be writing conscious raps. I could be writing metaphors and trying to hook up these wonderful phrases and whatnot. I was kind of engulfed by this game, this thing in Oakland where they call it a game. It's like where you got this knowledge to like talk your way into much money. You know what I'm saying? It could be through women, it could be whatever. You just got that swag, So I put that into music, and I always felt like the music man I wanted the music to be basic. I wanted to be like real
understandable.
Yeah, and I rap the way I rap on purpose. It's not that because I can't rap any other way. It's like I'm doing this for a reason. I'm just having a conversation, spitting some game to you. That was my thing. I knew it from the start. Knew what I've been doing the whole time.
All right. Yeah, for those of you just tuning into This Is 50 Radio, we have a legend in the building. Too Short is here. Everybody follow him at Too Short on Twitter.
T-O-O.
Yeah. Also, you know what I wanted to ask you, because I saw you on a documentary recently, and I wanted to know, because it was called American Pimp. American Pimp. How could you forget that? I was like a hustler. American Pimp. And again, no disrespect in any type of way, but are you a pimp or a former pimp?
What would that be a disrespect?
I'm just saying.
Married.
Well, now look at this. From day one, my whole career, when I finally caught on to what I wanted to do, it was right when Melly Mel was dropping the message. I heard that on the radio, the Furious 5. I'm listening to this, and I'm listening to the song, and all I could picture is New York City, someplace I'd never been,
Right.
and I could see it. I was like, man, New York is the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I should tell the story of Oakland. Like, it was just like my thing. So Oakland was very much, you know, a gangster town, but it was real big on the pimping. You got this little town. It's probably 500,000 people. It's right next to San Francisco. We got like military bases out there at the time, you know, and it's like the pussy was in demand. And you know, the whole show.
When is it not in demand?
I'm saying no. This was like a real big
Right.
deal. The whole show used to look like a fashion show. Like hookers were beautiful and sexy, and they were out there. And this was before crack. And I was amazed by it. I dedicated my career to that moment in my life where I just, you know, the pimp riding down the street
We
in
need
the
some
Cadillac.
gunshots, some round of applause. Whatever we can
You're in
get.
the Cadillac in the front seat by yourself, and there's 4 girls crammed in the back. I was like, that's
All
the
the
shit.
men are saying, God bless you. It's like Washington Heights in this bitch tonight.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Too Short is definitely in the
So
building.
to answer the question,
So you were a pimp.
no,
Okay.
I don't pimp hoes.
Orchestrated situation.
You know why I don't pimp hoes?
Okay, why?
Because the rap is getting more money. Now, if
Okay.
it wasn't getting more money, if I had to go out and get, like, you know, one hoe ain't. If you got one hoe, you kind of like,
Fuck.
you kind of like,
You're a bum ass
It's,
nigga.
it's called boyfriend girlfriend pimping. But you get 2 or more, man. You get up in that. It could be a nice little income for the right
Right.
hustler. But I don't do it because I got a cool legit hustle. Anybody that got my hustle would tell you if they got an illegal hustle, man, keep that hustle. Like, don't do my hustle. You know, that's how we get out in the streets. So I would do whatever to not be a bum, you know, to have something.
Right.
But if it's a legit hustle, roll with it. And I just I have been standing in my shoes, minding my business, and then no bullshit, no lies. Hookers that walk up to me and thank me and giving me money. I've had girls beg me to be my hoe.
Really?
And I was like, okay, goddamn, you don't just be
Goddamn.
my hoe. Be my hoe, come on. And it always turned out to be some bullshit.
Right.
I don't really
He
have
said,
that.
"Be my hoe."
That's pimping right there,
It's
Maya.
just,
I love it.
But you got to know it ain't just something you go kick back and get your nails done
Right.
and bitch get my money. It's a job. It's
It
a
is.
real
It's a-
psychological
Yeah.
trip both ways.
Right.
And if you ain't on it, you're not a good pimp.
You don't have time to worry about a bitch's feelings. Come on, man.
Exactly. Like, you really, like it's a real any pimp, any successful pimp you ever met, he's earning that money. That's
Right.
like no doubt about it. He got a lot of game, got a lot of moves and a lot of angles and stuff, and he's doing a lot. You can't stop pimping. It's 24/7. I could take a day off, a weekend off. Pimps can't take a weekend off. You got to.
Too Short is in the building. This is super official. I definitely wanted to ask you as well. I wrote all my questions in my BlackBerry. I'm like the new rapper because all the new rappers are like, "Oh, this is my rap right now." Like,
You write raps on your phone?
Do you
So-
respect that? That's that right on.
I wrote a couple of raps on my BlackBerry. Not
Yeah?
a lot.
Oh, okay.
but do you stand like this and like this is a freestyle?
The first person I saw do that was Murphy Lee from Nelly's.
Oh, he
crew.
got mad at me because I
He has
told
a
him that was the
BlackBerry?
wackest name in the world. I was like, "You're gay if your name is Murphy Lee." Sorry. I'm sorry.
But
Sorry, Murphy Lee. You are following me on Twitter. I fuck with you.
I saw him do that, and I was like, I didn't say anything to him about it. I was like, rapping on your phone, okay. And this stuff. But now it's the thing to do. But now,
No, yeah, it's
So what's the
totally a thing too. Okay, my question was like, what is because you kind of came in on the onset of like when the industry became the industry, the hip hop industry. What is the biggest change from those great times to now these times that are going on right now?
I mean, the obvious thing is for one, it's a business.
Okay,
Like, you know, in my days in the 80s, we dreamed of a 12-inch being played or on the shelf. You just want
Right.
to see it sit on the shelf. We just dreamed of a studio session. I was
Right.
like, man, listen to me. Like, it was, you know, I'm going to rock the party. I got a show tonight, get my
Right.
50. I'm going to rock the show. That was
Right.
it. That was
Right.
that was the reward. But now it's a business. You can actually sit around and look at coming out the bling bling era into where we are now and go, I want to be a rapper. Like, it's like I want to be a barber. I want
Right.
to get money. It's like something that you could really dream and it really could come true.
Right.
And, you know, back then it was like we had that whole for the fun of it, for the love of it, which made it really genuine.
Right.
And then you had the best thing ever that I just wish, you know, it would have never went away. But the whole, you can't look like me, you can't do what I do on stage.
exactly.
You can't sound like me, you can't use my phrases.
Right.
Originality.
And it was like if you did any of that back then, you were just like instantly discredited for all
Everything,
You
right?
couldn't borrow one liner.
Why do you think it is like that these days? Because you know, they hate when I talk about this, but I'm talking
Guess
about
why?
Busta
I'm gonna
Rhymes.
tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, why?
Because you're nostalgic about the originators, the creators, the first time around. I mean, come on now, look at R&B. It's gotta be recycled.
That's
it's
pop
like
now.
You know, R. Kelly is Lenny Williams. You know what I mean? It goes on and on. Prince is Jimi Hendrix mixed with Little Richard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like all that is hip hop is doing that
the
now.
Quality of it is not the same as a Jimi Hendrix or as a Little Richard.
What about the money?
The money's there, but that's
Okay,
ruining
that's the quality.
the
The quality is the money.
No, but
you
that's
can love
ruining
see,
the product.
You loving the art form. I'm loving the money. I got it in for the money. I rap for the money from day one.
Respect that.
I
All I'm saying is, like, let's say if you have a product that's selling like hotcakes, but it's killing people on the streets, or you have a product that's selling, you know, pretty good, but you know people are going to be around for a long time to buy it. Like, which one would you want to do?
Kids.
Can we get like a room? Can we get a room full of under 21s to have this conversation? Because they love their music. They laughing at us.
I hate them.
Yeah, they laughing at us.
I hate those under 21s.
I put my 80s playlist on my iPod on with my young girls in the car, and they was cracking it up.
They're like, what is this to hip hop?
I mean, no, literally, it was comedy to them. They was like, what is this?
Let me ask you something. What did that Wiz Khalifa record do for you? Did it introduce you to a whole new audience?
I'm not gonna say a new audience, but it just those are those bridges that I need in this point in my career where I'm not trying to be in competition with the hottest rapper on the Billboard charts who's getting the most fans. I'm not trying to be whatever, next album, first week sales. Yeah. I'm just go from point to point. I learned a long time ago. Get a little radio spin, stay on the radio, do some shows. You ain't going nowhere. Hit them with something good. I've been doing it the whole time, and I never really let too much time in between like doing something good. So I guest appearances is a good way to do it. You do it with a popping artist that's on that level, major label getting
still
that.
There.
It's the budget, the wire transfer.
It wasn't a song where
it's the budget, the wire transfer.
It wasn't like sometimes when a young artist is with a veteran artist, you could tell it was forced, but that song was perfect.
Well, you know what, Wiz is he got skills. He
deals with hoes.
He's a natural, and then what I was told was he was working on his album and he had that song, and he said only person I can get on that song is Short Dog. So he knew what the sound was.
Yeah.
And to me, honestly, it sounded like a Too Short record that I got him on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that's the genius of him, though. So
marriage.
All right. So before we get into our break, because we got a lot more to talk about with
we
Too Short.
We got to ask you about MC Hammer.
Yeah, we're gonna ask him about that. But the first question before we get into break is, you were one of the last people that were with Pimp C.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about like that whole situation and what happened with that?
The whole death part is just like the ultimate shock. Like what the fuck? But that weekend, he was in L.A. I knew he was in L.A. He came to my show Saturday night. Came backstage. He got on stage with me that night and literally volunteered himself to be my hype man because he knows my songs.
Awesome.
And he just I'm not gonna say get off the stage, Pimp C. Like he did the
off my stage.
He did the whole show with me. We
That's
go
hot.
Backstage, and my first cousin E, he always remind me of stuff. He's like, man, he was like, I don't know how the man died because that night in the dressing room he was just kicking it.
Right.
Like everything was cool, and then I think he passed away on Monday. Sunday he called me. He's like, man, let's meet up. Let's meet up and go get a meal. I was like, all right. We played the little phone thing all the way up until it was time too late to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, let's do it tomorrow. And the next day, his mama called me in the morning and said, I need you to go check on C. And I was like, what? She's like, he always answers his phone. He always calls, and he ain't answering.